Hello and welcome to the Polk Pioneers History Program, a collaboration between the Polk County Historical Association and the Polk County History Center. I'm Murtis Young, Historic Preservation Manager for the Polk County History Center. Thank you for joining us today as I have the pleasure of interviewing Walter Covington, Jr., a resident of Polk County for 81 years, who will be sharing personal memories about his life. Mr. Covington, thank you for joining me today. Let's begin your story with your birthplace, Pughesville.
I was born in Pughesville, and the midwife I had was Mother Miles. We had more than Mother Miles. We had Sister Hattie Hobbs. We had Sister Fennell in Pughesville. But Mother Miles was my main person.
And you have memories and remember her?
Yes.
Did she live close by? And
she lived back there by the Dailies. At that time, it was a clay road.
Oh my goodness.
Now the clay road is there, and everything is gone.
Right, right. Let's talk about some other memories of Pughesville, those early memories of being a young person growing up in Pughesville. Can you share some of those stories with us? Let's start with your parents in Pughesville. Tell us about your parents, their names, and what kind of parents were your parents?
My father was named Walter James Covington, Sr. My mother was named Beatrice Porter Covington. I had, my parents were real strict. Not only did my parents raise me, but the whole community, because that's the way we was brought up.
That's the Pughesville way, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
And if you call a person a lie, you got to kill him.
Wow.
You got whooped two ways. Where you was at, you got whooping. They carry you home and tell your parents what you did. You got a double whammy.
So there's a very strong code of discipline for the children of Pughesville.
You had to be disciplined. You had to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, and no, sir, regardless of what color you were.
Right.
And my parents didn't play. And my father didn't have nothing but a third grade education. But he could out-count me. He could do algebra.
No kidding.
Because when he came along, they had what you call a blue back speller.
Mm-hmm.
And they had everything in a blue back speller that he went through it from front to back.
And he was self-taught?
He was self-taught.
That is just incredible. That is just amazing. Wow.
And my mother, she went to the regional hotel, and then she went to the Haven Hotel in Winter Haven.
Now, do you have memories of going to the hotel with her ever and
yes, ma'am.
Going to work? Tell me about that.
Well, I went to, my mother, I had to go and clean the steps every Saturday.
So she had chores for you there?
Yep. I had chores home, and I had chores on her job.
Wow, that's neat. Now, what about your father? What was his occupation?
My father picked fruit.
Mm-hmm. In the Winter Haven area?
The Winter Haven area.
Mm-hmm.
And when the fruit was over, my father would do nothing. He would tell me, he'd say, well, I go back to work. Next October, I'll see y'all.
So he just kept an eye on the household and the children, I guess, during that period of time, while your mother continued the work at the hotel.
Yeah.
Tell me about your brothers and sisters.
All my brothers was grown. Now, the one, he and I got along real well. My oldest brother, he left in 1942 from Winter Haven. And we didn't see him no more until he got in trouble. And he would correspond to Mama about what's happened.
Right.
My next brother, Robert, he was a cook. He cooked for Jack and Betty out there on 17. He could cook anything you wanted.
Wonderful.
He went to Haven, he went to Miami, and he cooked down there for many years until he passed.
Oh, wow. So did he teach you any particular recipes that you
No,
enjoy
ma'am.
today? No, you didn't enjoy that skill of cooking, huh?
Mama didn't allow you in that kitchen. when she was
Really?
cooking.
Really? That was her
You
kitchen.
could be the taster, but you couldn't cook.
Oh, okay.
Now I did the washing dishes, I did the mopping up, cleaning the floors, making my bed, and cleaning that yard. You gonna do that every week.
Every single week.
Every week. And then back then, they had on the floors, they had wooden floors, but it had a linoleum. And that linoleum and that wood floor had to be spick and span.
Wow.
You had the linoleum, when you got through doing what you're supposed to do, scrub it with a broom, dry it up,
Wow.
you let it dry, then you go put your wax tile on the
Oh,
floor.
my goodness.
And it wasn't no longer then, you had to get on your knees to wax.
Every Saturday. you
Every
did
Saturday,
this.
that her front room gonna get clean, and you gonna dust.
Good for you. Let's talk about your childhood, the things you did for fun. I know you did a lot of chores and work at home, but what kind of things did you do for fun? I know you're involved in some activities at school. Tell us about that.
Well, when I was going to school, I went to Oak Park Elementary first.
Is that in Pughesville?
I was in Pughesville.
Okay, Oak Park, okay.
Oak Park. We had Miss Librand, Miss Long,
Oh,
and Miss Purcell. 3 teachers.
okay.
They taught us first, second, and third grade.
Oh my.
You had to do right or you get a tanning.
Wow.
See, back when I went to school, you did not play in class, disrespect teachers. You had to respect your classmate, everything.
Again, I think that's the code for the Pughesville lifestyle.
And when we moved to Florence-Villa, I was in 4th grade. Miss Somerville was our teacher. When I went to 5th grade, Miss Peterson was our teacher. And when I got promoted to 6th grade, Miss Librand, who was principal over there in Oak Park, she was our 6th grade teacher.
Okay.
And she kept everything in perspective places because she was the principal there.
Now, was there one of those teachers or one of those classes or a subject that was a favorite for you that you remember that you really, really loved?
Actually, no, I ain't like it, but I had to pass. You got to kill it.
Okay, good for you. You knew what you were supposed to do,
I
and
know
you
what
did
I
it.
was supposed to do, and you had to keep that in your mind when you were going to school at that time. That you couldn't play around.
Yeah, different, very different.
It was different. It was different. It was different back then. They cared about us, and they had a strong love for us. But we thought it was wrong. But we didn't get in no trouble.
And you now know that that was because they loved you.
They loved us.
Yeah. What about high school? Where did you go into high school?
I went to high school in 1950. I had Miss Horn was the library teacher. Miss Drayton was the mathematics teacher. Miss Wilbur was social study teacher. Miss Rose, her name was John Jordan Rose. She was our science teacher. The Martinez Goodrum, before him, it was Coach Brown. He taught industrial art, and he was the football coach till Coach Goodrum came
Okay.
in the late 50s.
Now, and you played football, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about that. What kind of memories?
I played left end, and I was the defensive back.
Okay. Any game you remember in particular that just was so fabulous you'll never forget?
They was good. All of them was good game, but most of the players when we played, they were way bigger than us.
Oh, no.
We played Bartow, and Bartow Union Academy had a stick.
Okay.
For 4 years, couldn't nobody beat Bartow until Lakeland came along and beat them.
So Lakeland broke the record for them.
Right.
So did you all ever beat Bartow? Ever?
Mm-hmm.
You did? Okay.
Beat them in the Dust Bowl.
You remember that?
Yes.
You were in the game.
I had finished school when we beat them.
Okay.
When we got beat.
Okay.
That's before I went in service.
Okay. Yeah. You enjoyed it though. You had a good time.
Yes, I had a good time.
You also participated in track.
I tried to run track.
Tell us about that. What was that
I
like?
love that.
You did?
I used to kill Bartow in track.
Okay.
Bartow and Lakeland, I used to run away with them.
Okay, there you go. That's your win.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you mentioned you finished school and then you went in the military. So tell us about that. What branch of service, where were you, and what were you doing there?
I went to school, I went to the Army in 1956,
Okay.
November the 24th. I was inducted into the armed forces in Jacksonville.
Okay, and what year again is this? What year?
I went in 56.
56, okay.
56. It was the 24th day of November.
Oh, you remember this.
And I was inducted, and as we being inducted, we going through the line with our shirts off, we get shot in both arms.
Ooh.
Oh, what these people doing? I enjoyed it. I had my basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I had my INT in Fort Sam Houston, Texas, in med school. And I loved it.
Yeah.
Because I was a medic. They taught me everything. I could give shots. I could read x-rays. The Army prepared me for a whole lot of things I was doing when I got out of service.
How about that? So did you self-select becoming a medic? Is that what you wanted to do?
It actually didn't matter. I just wanted to do my time and get out.
And you did it.
Yes.
Well, let's see. So 1956, the Korean conflict is settling some. So we don't have, the United States is not really involved in any major conflicts. So really your time of service was serving in the States. You were always in the United States? No?
I went to Germany. France was my place when I got over there in France. That's when I went TDY in sports for track. Well,
tell us about that.
And
that's got to be a story.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was nice. We went from Germany, from France to Germany to Copenhagen, Denmark.
Oh my.
To Italy. We had a nice time.
Mm-hmm. So you're having a good time in track, and you're being a medic, giving people shots.
Yeah.
And so it was a great time. So how many years did you serve?
After 10 months and 20 days, because my mother and father got sick.
Oh, okay.
And they brought me home.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But other than that, I'd stayed. I did all my time, but Mama got sick, Dad got sick,
I'm
and
sorry.
I was the baby boy, so they got me home.
Yeah, so you came home, back to Winter Haven.
Back to
Now
Winter
you're
Haven.
back, is this Florence Villa? You're
Pewsville.
back to Pewsville. Okay, excuse
Back to
me.
Pewsville,
Yeah.
back to
Back to
Pewsville, my roots.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah. Well, that was just great. Went off, saw some of the world, had
Yeah.
some fun, learned some skills, came back to Pewsville to be with your family, and then what did you do?
That's when I met my wife, Betty,
Where did you meet?
to the hospital where she was working.
She was already at the hospital working
Yes.
when you met. And what was the occasion of your being there? Were your parents in the hospital and
Nope.
you met her there? No, you just met her there.
I just know and I wanted to talk to her, so I went down to see her.
That's pretty romantic. That is very romantic. Now, and then so you all were married.
We married the 15th day of February 1958.
Lovely. Tell us a little bit about your marriage and the outcome of your marriage. I know you all were very, very fortunate to raise a pretty large family.
But we had good days.
Mm-hmm.
All my kids, I want them to run track.
I bet.
Boys play football, but all my girls could run.
All of the girls.
All of my girls could run.
Oh, that is so marvelous.
All my girls could
So
run.
they gave you a great deal of pleasure. I bet you went to a few track meets.
She could tell when I get there
Yeah. Because
because I was holler. You better not let her beat you.
you had pretty high expectations.
Mm-hmm.
That is just so great.
Her and Sherland and her and Cheryl Thomas. I went to all of them. I went to all these track meets.
Good for you. Did you raise the children? Did you and your wife raise the children in Pewsville as well?
From Pewsville to Ninth Court.
Okay. Right. Right. That is really great. Now, I think we should share with everybody. We talked about the boys played football and the girls ran track. How many children in all? I think 20 children?
20.
Yeah, 20 children. It's pretty exciting. Y'all had a very lovely large family.
Yes.
And a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we mentioned Betty, that she worked at the hospital, and she had a very long and distinguished career at Winter Haven Hospital. I think from 1956.
She started Brunnerbone in 54.
54.
She started, I think, 3 months after after she had a 6-week checkup, she started at Winter Haven Hospital. And she didn't break until she was having kids.
That is just amazing. She had a full career until she retired. Do you remember which year she retired from the hospital? It was
2000,
12 maybe?
I think it's 12.
Yeah, 2012. So from 1956 to 2012, a full-time career at the hospital and raised a family of 20 children.
Right.
Yeah, that is just an amazing accomplishment. So she was at the hospital and being mom. What were you doing during that time?
Working at the plant.
At Swift.
Not all the time. Better, my wife worked. When I first got out of service, I wanted to work on a pie train. That's tasting pie.
Tell me about that.
I thought I could play cards, I could do this and I could do that. But when Sherland came by, when she was born, my daddy told me, he said, son, you better get on your job. I can't take care of all these children. So anyway, I started working at the Bartow Memorial Hospital.
Wow.
And I was a janitor, I was an orderly, and I was a yard man. Because back in then, at that time when I was working here in Bartow, it was $35 a week. And we were getting paid every the 1st and the 15th.
Oh my goodness.
I had to work all the job, janitor job, in the yard. I the one got Bartow yard first started growing in Bartow.
Now there's something to remember, because so many of the people who will be enjoying this interview are from Bartow, and they'll remember that. Anything in particular you remember about the landscaping or anything in the yard that you loved?
We had, I don't know this lady's name, but she bring flowers.
Oh my goodness.
And we had, you know, she would tell me, Walter, I need you to put it right here. I want this over there. I said, okay. And she would put them down where she wanted them. When she come back, she said, you did a wonderful job.
Nice, nice. And so how long were you at Bartow?
I stayed there about 2 years before I went to S-Tech.
It was S-Tech.
It was a Swift when I went there, but they changed the name. Anyway, for that, I went, we were working, and I had been working there to Swift before then, but I got laid off. So I come down to Bartow and I got a job, and I stopped because working in Bartow, I was going clean, wearing number whites. When I go in the yard, put on my white, getting something else, work out there 4 hours a day.
My goodness.
When I was only, it was 8. I worked 8. Between the 8, if I wasn't doing anything, I was scrubbing the floor.
My goodness. So that's like changing
Changing
jobs,
Yeah.
3 jobs in the
Right.
during the same time.
They wasn't paying nothing. So for me to make $140, I had to do all that.
So you were actually doing 3 jobs.
Right.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, good for you.
And then when I left when I left the hospital in 1962, I got hired to Swift and Company in 62, October the 20th.
You have an incredible memory for dates. I admire that. It's really
And I
great.
stayed there until 1998.
1998?
I stayed there 36 years.
Wow, wow. Now you talked about when you were in the Army, the training you had received. Did you ever use any of the skills that you learned in the Army during any of your jobs?
At Bartow Memorial Hospital, yes.
Working, okay.
When the technician wouldn't come in, they found out I could, take x-rays. I would do that.
Wow, good for you.
But I had somebody, yeah, you did a nice job. And then somebody had to be take blood, and they couldn't get hold of nobody. Asked me, can you take blood? I said, I'll do anything.
That is amazing. Good for
It was a challenge because all you had to do was remember, don't stick nobody with no dull needle.
Oh yes, it's a good thing to
And see,
recall.
what we were doing back then, just like you drawing blood, you would take a needle and rub over some cotton. If that cotton come out, you wouldn't use that needle.
Okay, that's a good thing to know, because that means that needle is rough and you don't want to use that. Yeah, wow.
And they would always ask me, how you can do these things and the man won't pay you no more money? I said, well, you have to ask him. That's when I went to work to Swift and worked my way up from a laborer to a supervisor.
Good for you. Good for you. And then retired from there.
I retired.
Yeah, that was a pretty significant company in Winter Haven. I know it employed a good number of people for a number of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you became the supervisor. What were you doing as supervisor? In the plant?
In the plant. Before I got to be a supervisor, I was driving tractor, unloading boxcars.
Oh, that's right. You're right on the railroad tracks.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And everybody would ask me, say, well, how you can do these things and remember where everything at? So you got to pay attention.
Well, just having this conversation with you, I have no doubt that you remember, because you remember every date from your life. It's pretty incredible. That's really very good. So back to Pughesville and back to life today. I know just that I've been so fortunate to meet some folks from Pughesville, and I know that church is a very, very important part of the community. And I know that you've served as a deacon at the Zion Hill Baptist Church. Share some stories about that.
Well, at first, I told them no.
Okay.
And they kept on persisting. I said, well, I act at it. And William Burney, he the one got me into teaching Sunday school.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
And now I teach Sunday school every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday morning.
And the class for young people, adults, or?
For adults.
Adults, okay.
And we have some real interesting topics to discuss. And they always ask me now, say, do you ever pick up the book? I say, no. So you don't read? No. I say, you tend to read, you forget some things.
Interesting.
When I was in high school, I never picked up a book to read the test time. They asked me, so how you passing test? I said, all you got to read, all you got to do is know the prefix of what you're reading. That's all your answer right there.
Well, that's an amazing ability and gift, but for most of us in the world, we aren't gifted that way.
Well,
I admire that.
That's things today. If you doing something and they tell you what kind of test you gonna have, all you got to be prepared for it and look in the prefix, all your answer right there, because they test it from the prefix.
Oh, I wish I had met you many years ago when I was studying so hard. That's really interesting. Well, tell me, I'm just curious to know if there's a recent Sunday school class that you taught that really triggered some good conversation.
Well, I teach the adults.
The adults. Anything in particular you all talked about that might be of interest for?
We be talking about everything.
Everything? Okay. Do you have a favorite book of the Bible that you study, that you teach from?
All 66 books are important.
They're all important. Okay. Okay. Good. Right. Would you direct me to any particular passage that you would say, Miss Young, I want you to go home tonight and read?
I say that because you got another passage, another book contradict that book.
Okay. All right. So what you're telling me is I need to read all of them.
All of them.
Study it.
Study it.
Daily?
Study show thyself approved.
Okay. Thank you. Well, Pughesville celebrates every year, and I know that you're actively involved in the annual association, the May Day program. Tell me about that. I know they have great food and great conversations. What are some of your wonderful memories of celebrating the Pughesville anniversary?
Well, when they first started a Pughesville association, they started from scratch. It's supposed to be, to help the young people, to give scholarship to the most unfortunate one that can't get a scholarship, the Polk State. But through time, they want to make it a business proposition, which you can't do. So we had Zion Hill, then we had the bottom, which is Pughesville also. They farmed their presidents, and then we farmed one up on the hill, and I told them that's not right. All y'all is trying to get one place. All of you got the same thing. Come together. Let us do things together, not bickering.
Right. Accomplish a lot more that way.
Accomplish more.
Yeah.
Where we was having it, there's nothing wrong with where we was having it. But at the people got older in Pughesville, sometimes it was hot. Sometimes we have them rainstorms come in.
I know. I recall one of those.
So why can't we get a place to have these events? That's when Polk State stepped in with the scholarship program.
Wow.
The merchant in Pughesville, Larry Gaston was the president. He go to Ann Stowe and get anything he wanted for the Pughesville Association.
As it should be.
As it should be. Patricia, she was doing the same thing. But so much tension got in the way. Patricia, she stepped down and get to somebody else.
I see.
She was doing a wonderful thing. But you got to agree who is the boss, who run it. Everybody got their opinion. Sometimes you think your opinion is best, but you got to look at all the opinion. You just can't just say, well, we're going to do this and do that. No, you let everybody speak for themselves.
Because you have several generations
That's
of
right.
Pughesville residents.
A law is a wide gap.
Right, right.
Then like I told him, I said, we're old, we're getting old. Let the younger people come in here and put their input into it. But no, we ought to do it this way. I said, no, that's wrong. That's not giving them respect. And you taking their respect away. You can't do that. You got to listen to all the things that they bring to the table.
Well, that is important because you certainly want that heritage to have longevity.
That's right.
And you want it to continue.
Continue.
And I just celebrated my birthday last week, and I know you get to a point where you want those younger people coming behind you. So I agree with you on that. It's really good to include. I'm very much involved with history, and we are always looking for ways to encourage younger people to come along and step into our shoes and keep that heritage going. So I applaud you for that. That's important to bring young people along.
How can you expect something to keep going on when you don't teach the kids
That's right.
what's happening?
That's right.
Happen to you, it may won't happen to them.
That's true. That's true. And they need to know those stories, so I certainly admire that.
You keep dining the kid, any individual you keep dining, they will look bad at you. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't doing that. They always bad mouth me.
Well, I have to say, for somebody who raised 20 children, I'd look to you to be the expert, so I would certainly honor your opinions on the way to engage young people. I'm going to give you my vote.
Thank you.
Well, we've talked about so many wonderful things, life in Pughesville, early life, school, great teachers, not having to study, it just comes naturally to you. We're all jealous about that. The Army, track, your family, your children, your beloved girls running track. What did we leave out? What is something you'd like to share with us that we haven't talked about? Anything in your mind that has to do with Walter?
Okay. We were going to Sunday school, Labor Day, and the 4th of July. The 4th of July was a big day to the church. Mr. Green, he was working for the Nashes. We would go out to their place. They would invite us out. The whole everybody in the community wanted to go. Deacon Green would carry them out. We would get in the pool. They had
Fun.
clothes and everything for you to get in, bathing suits and everything. And we would swim in their pool. They would have barbecue, they have sodas, cake, anything you wanted. We stayed there at about. We left, we'll leave by 9 o'clock, going out to the green. We leave from out there about 4,
Wow.
going back to the church. We had fun. And Zion Hill had a church where we played hide and go see up on them. You know, doing after church, during the week, because you could run up under there and hide. Couldn't nobody see you unless they know where you was at. Because it was a big old church, and had where you could walk up under there, play around. Had a ball field out there where you could play ball out at the church. We just enjoyed it.
Lovely. Great place to grow.
And that was twice a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So 4th of July and
Labor Day.
Labor Day. Yeah. Nice. Fun. Would you move back to Pughesville if it existed today?
Sure would.
Yeah. Great lifestyle. Well, I thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your life with us. It's very fascinating. You're a very interesting gentleman. And I thank you all for joining us as we had the opportunity to meet and visit with Walter Covington Jr. today from Pughesville, and one of our new inductees into Polk County's Pioneer family. Thank you.